Everybody, thanks for watching. We're in Omena, Leelanau County, at the Historical Society. With us, Marsha Buehler. Now, quickly, what is your official title?
Well, I don't have one.
All right.
I'm just Marsha Buehler, but I am on the board of the Omena Historical Society.
Yeah, and it's we're here to talk a little bit about a designation for Omena, and I'll let you explain what that designation is.
Well, the designation is for the Omena Historic District, is now on the National Register of Historic Places, which is a big honor for us, and took several years to get us there.
Yeah.
And it's a source of pride. It really is.
All right, so why is that important?
Well, the importance is really a couple of things. It's a symbolic thing.
Yep.
It makes people aware when they see that there's a designation, they see a marker maybe, or read about it, or see it on your
Right.
show, that there's something here that's gotten noticed officially. And what is that? And so I think it makes people a little more interested, and people who live around here or have property will maybe take a look at the history of their houses, and a name or something might pop up that spurs their interest, and they're like, well, there's some connection with us here. And you look into it. So that's one part of it, to get people interested and doing a little research on their own about their own properties. The other thing is that it's just a nice recognition. The people here have worked really hard to keep up these old properties, and it's not always easy, and it can be pretty expensive. And it's just a recognition that this little place in northern Michigan is pretty culturally intact.
Yeah.
You can pretty much see the development of it, and if you know just a little bit about it, you can really see why things developed the way they did.
And we are in the museum, the Historical Society Museum, and it's interesting because back in 2004, matter of fact, I covered this story, was when you moved this structure about a mile, and here we sit today in that very same building.
Yeah, it was pretty exciting. It was one of those challenges that people said it couldn't be done, and we managed to pull it off and really brought the community together. So many people worked on this house. I mean, it was in pretty rough shape,
Yeah.
and we sure did a lot of work on it, right down to ceilings and walls and everything.
Yeah.
Everything. And there's some folks that have been involved from the very beginning, and they're still involved, which is terrific. And every year there's a group, an exhibit committee that cooks up a new exhibit for people to enjoy. And we're pretty proud of it.
And you mentioned that the number one exhibit for the museum is the museum itself.
Well, it is, because we feel that it's pretty significant that we were able to save this structure. It was the earliest farmhouse in the area, still standing at the time, built in 1876 by Ronaldo Putnam. And he purchased the property from General George Armstrong Custer. So
Really?
So that's the other little bit. When you start looking, there are so many connections, interesting little connections here and there. Now, General Custer inherited the property through his wife, whose father had owned it. But so he didn't really have any real presence here, although he did visit on a couple of occasions, we think. But that's interesting. Most of Omena was property owned by General Custer.
And this building sat on the grounds of the Villa Marquette, correct?
Yes, it did. The Villa Marquette, which is a Jesuit retreat, they acquired the property in 1936, I think, and this house was, of course, there because it was older. But what's personal to me is that this was a family member's summer home at the time that the Jesuits acquired it, because it went through their estate, and one of the sons happened to be a Jesuit, and so that was his inheritance, was the Villa Marquette property, including this house.
Yeah. And so you are you the caretaker of this facility? I mean, you watch over this at all?
Well, just this last year, Tom and I became the we're the building committee.
Right.
Took over from Joey and Larry Bensley, who'd done it from the time the building was moved, and did a fabulous job.
Very nice.
And so that's our new job.
Marsha, thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Reporting for My News 26 in Omena, I'm Vic McCarty.